Hey there. How are y'all doing today? Me, myself, I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good, actually. Uh, though, if you want to make my day even better, you can always buy the merch, or subscribe down below. We have both Stay Awesome design, featuring myself, which is more generic YouTuber-y design, and we have a Blake design. I mean, it's adorable. Why wouldn't you want it? But this video isn't about the merch. This is about a game called Poppy's Playtime. For those of you that do not know, Poppy's Playtime is a horror game, or rather, Chapter 1 to a horror game, and about to receive a Chapter 2, in which you run away from this tall creation named. I'm gonna put the name on screen because I actually forgot the creature's name. I think it's Stuffy, something like that. Huggy Wuggy, that's what it was. But anyway, but this video isn't really about the game per se. Instead, this video is actually about the controversy that the game's creator, Mob Games, has set up for themselves. Cause oh boy, they've made a mess. And I'm going to be doing it in the style of reacting to two videos. Specifically, two videos under the channel Theft King. Now, I'm going to put it out there right away. I love Theft King content. I think he does a great job. Certainly better than I do. And I really do respect and enjoy his videos. And I think he has some good opinions. But I also think he has some bad opinions. As we all do. And by bad opinions, obviously, you might be saying, oh, there's no such thing as a bad opinion. Which there isn't. But what I mean by bad opinion is opinions that, or thoughts, that I think are clouded by a lot of bias. Which tends to happen. When we hate someone, we're going to paint them in a more negative light than we otherwise would. For example, people who hate me may look through will comb through my channel and try and find every little thing they can use to make me seem even a little bit negative. They'll use the fact that I woke Blake up in one of my videos and say, hey, he's an animal abuser. He woke his cat up. I'm not an animal abuser. Anyone with common sense can probably reason that I wouldn't be able to have a cat if I was an animal abuser. Sorry, this is just good tea. I'm gonna stop now. And this has leaked in to both of his videos, as he's entitled to. YouTubers are entitled to put their opinions and thoughts into every video they make. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I feel that he is unfairly judging Mob because of that bias. That's not to say they haven't done bad things, and we will get to that. For example, NFTs. I think at this point we can all ubiquitously agree are pretty bad. Bad for the environment, and just bad business practice. But it goes deeper than that. With allegations of bullying children to the point of going into a mental ward. Yeah, apparently this indie company did that. And on the topics of seemingly trying to farm views from children by uploading the same videos to multiple channels, specifically the Enchanted Mob and Examination channels. So we're going to investigate that as well. Because, as a person who seems, by his content, to be of logic and reason, he should be expected to be able to hold his feet to the fire and be determined by logic and reason. So, let's go through these videos. The first video we have here today is I don't support Poppy Playtime, and neither should you. It's a video he released on April 28th, 2022, and, well, the title is basically the description. That's all you really need to jump into it. So, let's jump into it.
The story behind Poppy Playtime is a strange one. A popular indie game that seemingly came out of nowhere, claims of plagiarism, an NFT scandal, and accusations of being a cash grab. There's darker stuff though. Allegedly, the people behind the game took advantage of young up-and-coming animators, resulting in one YouTuber checking themselves into a psychiatric facility. Obviously, some of the allegations in this video are pretty serious, so viewer discretion is advised. Also, note that all of these are just allegations, and I will be providing citations and quotes when applicable. A few hours ago, Mob Games, the company behind Poppy Playtime, announced that Mob Entertainment had partnered with Studio 71 to develop and produce a film based on Poppy Playtime. Unlike the FNAF film, I fully expect the Poppy Playtime movie to come out. Scott Cawthon cares a lot about his franchise and what is done with it.
Right away, the framing of saying Poppy's making a movie, and then jumping to the FNAF movie and saying it'll come out because, unlike them, Scott cares about the franchise is a huge claim. Saying without saying that Mob doesn't care about Poppy's Playtime. And he will afterwards supplement this by saying that all they care about is making money because they have released merch and have tried to make money off of their project. Cause, yeah, it's not like we haven't seen other creators, like Scott, making t-shirts, doing brand collaborations, making plushies, toys, and all sorts of other merchandise based on FNAF. But oh no. He cares about the franchise. It's completely different. It's completely different. Despite the fact that Scott cared so little about his franchise, seemingly, that a lot of the early products didn't turn out good. I mean, look at these prototype plushies. Does this look like someone who cares about the IP? And yet, Scott released them. Scott cares about money too. Any developer, any person cares about money. You can't use the fact that a company is trying to utilize the property they own to make an income for themselves as a reason to say they don't care about the brand. We don't know their mentality. For all we know, even the NFT thing could have been just them looking out for their own self-survival, trying to make an income so they can keep making more of Poppy's Playtime because they do care about it that much. But no, apparently Mob's evil because they decide to have merch. How dare they?
However you feel about the FNAF series, it's undeniable that it started out as a true indie game. Poppy Playtime is a little different.
Very good use.
Between putting lore-critical information into pricey and environmentally hazardous NFTs, as well as the rapid and vast commercialization of the property, it feels like a cash grab to me. Mob Games, the people behind Poppy, presumably funded the whole project using substantial resources that they acquired through their incredibly popular animation YouTube channels. Enchanted Mob's channel has over 3.2 million subscribers, and they produce a staggering amount of content. Furthermore, they appear to run a network of other animation channels, including Zamination, which boasts over 4 million subscribers and in fact uploads the exact same videos as Enchanted Mob. Sure, they changed the titles and thumbnails, but these are the exact same videos, same length, same everything. I believe this is against YouTube's terms of service, and I think it's kind of nefarious.
I read through the terms of service. There is no such thing. The only one it can maybe fall under is the one that says you're not allowed to reproduce other people's content without permission from the creator. But they're the creator, so I assume they would have the permission. Still scummy, though.
On one hand, publishing the same videos to two very popular channels gets you double the impressions that you'd get from a singular channel, but I suspect this might be even worse. Considering these Minecraft-style animations from the Poppy Playtime people are clearly targeted towards kids, I can't help but wonder if they're posting the exact same content with different titles and thumbnails for the sole purpose of tricking kids into watching a video that they've already seen. Again, YouTube considers these to be two completely separate videos, and it's very likely that someone who watches one will have the other suggested. This is a kind of grimy practice, sure, but it speaks more to the character of the mob than it does about Poppy Playtime.
Or that they're just doing smart business decisions because they're a business with employees that need to live and eat. Funny how when talking about things like game making, where he mentions that they have a ton of business income, then he notifies them as a business. But when it comes to talking about other things like their business practices, he instead goes to referring to them as a single person. Almost like whether they're an actual business or not depends on the point he's trying to make. Doesn't make for a good argument. Or a convincing one.
One of their affiliated channels is 3A Display, which also produces these similar Minecraft-style videos that utilize the trendy characters of the day. I did some digging and uncovered that this channel was primarily the work of Faint Turnip and Isaac, the latter of whom would go on to apparently play a key role in the development of Poppy Playtime. I spoke with Faint Turnip, who explained how they ended up with Enchanted Mob's network. So I met Emob through their old Patreon Skype chat. I didn't really know them until I collaborated with another channel called Isaac X, and the video we made together started getting a significant amount of views. Both Isaac and I were in the Emob chat, and one day they posted our video and asked if we made it. We told them yes, and they started talking to us about making a new channel with them. Long story short, Isaac and I made 3A Display, with Emob as owner because neither Isaac nor I were 18 yet. For some reason at the time, these channels needed to be part of an MCN in order to monetize, and you needed to be 18 or older to do that, or whatever.
Yes, because going into any contract, especially one where you're going to be talking about money and making money, requires you to be 18 in order to actually sign it without parents' permission. And even then, it can be kind of hard. So, yes, they do actually need to be 18 to sign any contract, even if they're just going to go through YouTube's partner program, which I doubt they would have been able to do at that point.
3A was owned and is still owned by Emob and was used as a quick cash grab for them. Each month, Emob, Isaac, and I would each get a third of what was earned on the channel. According to Turnip, he and Isaac did basically all the work, whilst Enchanted Mob collected a third of the channel's revenue. Turnip eventually got fed up and quit 3A Display. When I quit, I tried to find the contract because I wanted money owed to me, but when I opened the email the contract was in, it had been deleted.
Which means you deleted it being an idiot. Because even if they deleted it, it would only disappear on their end. That's how email works. If you yourself never deleted the email, it would still be there. Because it was a sent thing to you. So even if the sender deleted it, you would still have your version of it. Or not your version, but you know what I mean. The version that was sent to you. Because deleting it can't undo that. So, that would mean you intentionally deleted it at some point because you thought it wouldn't be necessary. That is no one's fault but your own. Also, I doubt there's money owed to you. You agreed to a third split. Because here's the thing. When you sign a contract, you're agreeing to the terms of the contract, whether you like them or not. So that was your fault for agreeing to their contract. Which, allegedly you joined this because you weren't able to sign a contract, so the fact you're even getting money was technically illegal. So, but, whatever.
To be clear, while Isaac is the director of Poppy Playtime, everyone I spoke to while doing research for this video said that they're a cool person. Nobody has any problems with Isaac. I think it's important to remember that while Enchanted Mob and Zamination appear to be the people behind Poppy Playtime, the people who put most of the money up and the people who earn most of the reward, there are a lot of people working on the series now, and most of them are just regular, talented, hardworking people trying to make the best game they can. So while this video is very critical of Poppy and I don't support the franchise, it's important for people to understand that there are a lot of people involved and this story is only about a couple of them. So it looks like Enchanted Mob had a pattern of reaching out to these starstruck young animators, getting them to sign contracts that prohibited them from uploading to their own channels and having them work as part of Enchanted Mob's network. In exchange, the mob would take a portion of the channel's revenue, and it worked. I spoke to lots of people who were up-and-coming animators in that period, and according to them, if you weren't with Enchanted Mob, you weren't shit. After Poppy Playtime Chapter 1's release, a Twitter user named Eckercoaster put forth claims that Poppy Playtime had been plagiarized from their indie horror game, Venge. I'll be honest, when I first saw these claims, I basically just dismissed them outright. Yeah, the premise of the two games is really similar, and some of the character designs are alike, but it's not plagiarism. This childlike horror or twisted nostalgia aesthetic has become really popular in recent years. In particular, both of these games feel really derivative of Bendy and the Ink Machine, and it's well known that Coaster is a fan of Bendy. However, when you dig deeper into this story, things become a lot more suspicious, and I'll be honest, it makes Poppy Playtime and mob games look really bad. I spoke to Coaster extensively, and the following is their account of what occurred. I warn you, the following includes some potentially triggering topics, so please use your discretion. Like Faint Turnip, Coaster was a young, up-and-coming animator heavily inspired by the style of animation popularized by Enchanted Mob and Zamination. Coaster was also in this Patreon chat, and when their own animation took off on YouTube, Emob reached out. Coaster was ecstatic. Emob and Zam were like heroes of the animation community, and getting recognition from them was no small feat. According to Coaster, they negotiated for a bit to see if they could work together, but ultimately things didn't pan out. Coaster explained to me that the contract would have stipulated that they were no longer allowed to upload to their own YouTube channel, and instead could only upload to the channel created as part of Enchanted Mob's network. Coaster was a 15-year-old at the time, and they loved their channel more than anything. While they couldn't make money from it due to their use of copyrighted music, they still weren't willing to give it up. According to Coaster, Emob and Zam explained how he would never be able to afford a house or a car or make any sort of living in animation unless they signed up as part of the Enchanted Mob network. Coaster refused though, and no deal was made. According to Coaster, they tried to maintain a cordial relationship with Enchanted Mob and Zam in the wake of their failed negotiation. However, things did not go so well. Coaster claims that they were frequently the target of bullying and what sounds like harassment by the mob. Coaster claims someone made a render of one of his characters being sodomized and distributed it, which is, I mean, if that's true, and I have no reason to doubt Coaster, it's an incredibly messed up thing to do to a 15-year-old.
I don't know about this one. First off, very strong claims, my god. But ultimately, where I stand on this topic currently is that they could have been distributed by anyone. So far, neither Theft King nor anyone else that I've seen has presented any proof, especially notable proof, of this being specifically Mob Games doing. So, if it is true, which I'm not doubting that it is, but if it is true, then it was probably someone else who also doesn't like him for whatever reason. Not saying it's not messed up, because it is, obviously, but just saying, it could have been anyone. We have no reason to believe or suspect that it was necessarily Mob Games. And we'll get to the bullying part. Because he's about to talk about the alleged bullying that took place.
Enchanted Mob and Zamination started a YouTube channel called Animation Sins. We all know what Sins videos are. It was Cinema Sins but for animation. I figured they'd punch up. Sin Has Been Hotel, Sin Disney, Sin the giants of the animation world. But no, this channel sinned Coaster's independent animations multiple times. It almost feels like the whole channel was Enchanted Mob's way of getting back at animators who they felt wronged them. Coaster explained that when Animation Sins first started sinning their videos, they were trying to keep things cordial with Enchanted Mob, and so they claimed they wanted their video to be sinned. A defense mechanism. Say you want to be roasted so that you can take it in good fun. However, after several videos, Coaster was no longer okay with it. Each video was really harsh on Coaster's animation, and they inevitably triggered what Coaster describes as hate mobs that would flood the comments of the original video, making fun of it and referencing the Animation Sins video. This ultimately resulted in Coaster checking themselves into a psychiatric facility.
This is the segment of the video that I have the biggest problem with. And that's because the way that Theft King talks about it and frames it almost makes it feel like the E-Mob, Enchanted Mob, had sent this hate directly to him on purpose. But I think we've all been on the internet long enough to know that's not how things happen. You criticize a video, like for example, this video where I'm criticizing Theft King's videos, and people are going to side with that creator because they like that creator more, maybe haven't even heard of the other creator, and then are going to go and do their thing because the internet's the internet, and hate on someone else. Is it okay? Of course not. Should you do it? No! But people do it. Because people are just evil sometimes. That's just how it is, unfortunately. And the fact that he said that he wasn't okay with it, to me, while obviously the right thing to do is to not, it's YouTube. If it's the internet. Most times, even if you say don't do something, people are just going to double down. Because it's you exposing a weakness. And additionally, the fact of it being so much that he had to submit himself into a psychiatric ward. Good on him, first off. I'm glad that he got the help that he felt he needed. That was a good choice. But also, when you release something on the internet, it's public. Everyone is going to tear it apart, look at it, comment on it, etc. That is the risk you're posing when you're putting a video out online for the public to see. This video, for example, could reach anyone, and I can't control that. The only way I could control that would be to either unlist it or make it private. Which he hasn't done. And so, you can't blame people for using their rights on this platform to commentate on videos to comment on videos. And also, it's worth noting, he says this later, but the Animation Sins channel has been taken down now. They realize their mistakes and have moved on. Which is something we'll get to a little bit more when we get to the second video. But, just overall, I don't really blame any of this on Emob. This, to me, just feels like it was a child who just couldn't take the heat that the internet gives. And so, he went to go get help. That's it. And I'm always a firm believer in the fact that if you can't handle the criticism, you really shouldn't be making content online. Because, while it's not really talked about much, a huge part about doing things online is the fact that anyone can see it and anyone can criticize you. So if you're gonna post content to this platform, you have to be prepared for that. I'm sorry. This is just that type of platform. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. You're gonna get hate. You're gonna get people who, like I said in this video multiple times already, are going to tear you apart just because they don't like your face. Or just because they've decided for whatever reason you're the target of the day. It's gonna happen. And Emob, especially in Animation Sins, and all the people behind it, are allowed to make the videos they want to make on any videos they want to make it on. Just like how I'm free to commentate on Theft King's video. It's the same thing. The same way you're able to comment on Emob's videos. In fact, you call it bullying for 5 measly videos on this one person. One could easily say you're bullying Emob. Because you are intentionally making multiple videos on the same subject and being critical. So if someone wanted to, they could turn it on you and say that you're bullying them. It's the same thing. You're doing the same thing they are. Does that make you evil? Or are you thinking, no, it's justified this time because I'm doing it against the quote-unquote aggressors? Something you gotta ask yourself. Now we're gonna head into the second video by Theft King, which is a video talking about their apology. And I'm not gonna show the whole thing of this one because it's 15 minutes. And honestly, most of it is just him reciting a lot of the same points again. So, but we are going to go through the new parts that he adds in that are specifically related to the apology.
These videos are meant to be fun and informative. Fun and informative, eh? Why is it then that June 12th, 2018, the same day Animation Sins released Everything Wrong with Build My Machine by Ecker Coaster, the following was posted to your Discord from the owner of said Discord, Zach Bell's account? Ecker Coaster is trash. He needs to quit animating. Here's why I dislike Ecker Coaster's content. Feel free to send him this. He makes his animations, if we can even call them that, too quickly. He then makes all Minecraft animators look bad. Ecker Coaster is the laziest animator I've ever seen, and it's... I already know that Enchanted Mob will try to say that this is fake or something. I already got a tweet indicating that they're trying to say that some other team member changed their name to Enchanted Mob and started trouble because they were on the brink of being fired or some nonsense. Fortunately, this Discord server is still up, and those messages are still there. The username has changed from Enchanted Manager to Zach Bell. From there, it was just a matter of checking the profile, and yup, they're the owner of the Enchanted Mob Discord. That's not someone changing their name. I even confirmed the account and Discord tag with Faint Turnip, who still had them on their friends list. It's definitely Enchanted Mob. It is definitely Zach Bell. I'm sure now they'll go back and delete those messages. Probably archive and purge the public chat logs, honestly. It doesn't matter though. It's out there now, and everyone who has interacted with Zach's account surely believes that it's him. I mean, I do. I confirmed the Discord tag. As some of you are aware, a few days ago I released a video detailing some pretty serious allegations against Poppy Playtime developer Mob Games. From double posting their videos in what I presume is an attempt to trick kids into watching them twice, all the way to allegations of harassment that resulted in a YouTuber admitting themselves into a psychiatric ward. If you haven't seen it already, check this video out first because there's a bunch of crazy new evidence here. A few hours ago, Poppy Playtime developer Mob Games CEO Zach Bellinger, one of the two brothers known as Enchanted Mob, released a statement on Twitter addressing several of the controversies and allegations that were put forth in my video. I didn't actually intend to make a follow-up to that video, and I'm not interested in milking a controversy. I had already said everything I wanted to say regarding Poppy Playtime in the last video.
Then why the fuck are we here?
However, I also didn't expect the video to blow up the way it has, nor did I ever expect Enchanted Mob to respond.
So you're doing this to get even more popular and to just brag about the fact that you feel like you've been responded to. Got it. Going forward from there, knowing that.
As you'll see in their response, they appear to have a policy of not addressing rumors and disregarding criticism as simply being hate, so I was stunned to see that not only did they respond, but that they addressed Ecker Coaster directly and even apologized to them. Thus, as the one who made the latest, though certainly not only, video criticizing Enchanted Mob, Zamination, Mob Games, and Poppy Playtime, I feel obligated to share eMob's statement. It's not fair to hear one side of the story without giving time for the other. I also found the statement is, as expected, quite misleading. It omits key information, and several of the statements made are just provably false. So, I'm gonna call them out. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it! Let's get even more views! And let's get another response!
There have been rumors that the idea for Poppy Playtime was plagiarized from Ecker Coaster's game Venge. This is false. I mean, the rumors aren't really that it was plagiarism, like in my video, which—
You're right. You, Theft King, did not allegate that. You know who did? Ecritique, or what was the kid's name? I forgot already. But, anyway. Other people did. Because, as you already said, you're not the only response video. This is why I wanted to respond to this video too. Because throughout this entire video, there is a big sense of entitlement. Just being like, oh yeah, it was obviously a response to me. Because it was my video that got popular. It's just, leaves a bad taste in the mouth, man. It's a bad taste. But, you know, whatever. Fame does things to people, I guess. But ultimately, if you actually listen to the apology and not just Theft King's random self-appraisal, you actually find that this is actually more of a response to Echo Raptor than any actual videos on the topic. It's more of a response and apology to him, the kid that you claim they bullied. But no, your video got popular, so obviously everyone's seen it, and obviously this is a response to you.
It's just suspicious, and only when one is aware of the history between Coaster and the mob. The reason these rumors started is based on past drama that did not involve the large majority of Poppy Playtime's team. Yeah, but it involved the executive producer, the people who wrote the story, you know, the people who presumably conceived the game. I mean, these are the top people. I was contacted by someone who had provable ties to mob games. This anonymous source explained to me that one of the Zamination brothers claimed that they had earned over $4 million from Poppy Playtime game and merchandise sales. I can't provide any of the evidence for this, as doing so would compromise my source, and even then, this is all allegedly just what Zamination said, so he could have been lying if he even said it at all. It wouldn't surprise me though. The point is that Poppy Playtime has surely made bank, and I'm sure that those four at the top got a disproportionately large amount of it. That's how things work. They're the ones in charge. It's their project. For context, back in 2017, the creators of the Zamination and Enchanted Mob YouTube channels, you mean you? That's you. You're one of the creators of the Enchanted Mob channel. Back in 2017,
So, throughout a majority of the video, he just criticizes them about getting the date wrong, because they said 2017 instead of 2018. Which is obviously a year's difference. But he has made spelling mistakes in this very same video. Like, I cut it out. I cut out the beginning bit. But in the beginning of this very video, he actually makes a mistake where instead of saying our, he says my. And it is one of those things. Humans make mistakes. We make mistakes. Especially when we're feeling guilty or not necessarily thinking about the exact details because we're trying to get to something and address something bigger. It happens. Just like how I forgot the kid's name. And I called him a million other names that are wrong. It's... People make mistakes. You can't expect anyone to be perfect. Ever. That's just not human. But, throughout the rest of the video, he's like, oh, it's obviously wrong because they said 2017 instead of 2018. They got a date wrong. You knew what they were talking about. What difference does it make?
would periodically make videos on animations made by the YouTuber Eckercoaster. Eckercoaster did not want his videos sinned, and requested that the Animation Sins team, stop making videos about his animations. For a while, Animation Sins, stopped making videos on Eckercoaster's animations, but eventually ended up making another one. Okay, so that's just not true. You sinned Coaster 5 separate times. The first video was released in February of 2018. 4 months later, in June, you sinned another, the same day that Zach Bellinger's Discord account posted these vicious messages about Eckercoaster and encouraged members of the Discord to share it with them. 6 months later, in January of 2019, you sinned another of Coaster's videos, Baldi's Basics the Musical. Less than 4 months after that, you sinned Coaster again. Finally, 6 months later, in October of 2019, sure enough, you made the final sin video against Eckercoaster. So when exactly did you stop sinning Coaster? There was never more than 6 months between videos sinning them, and never...
Maybe, the period of time you talked about last video, in which you mentioned that they took down the videos and just completely stopped for a period of time. Maybe that time. But, what do I know, I guess.
Less than 3. The time span between the final 2 videos is no different than between the second and third, and barely longer than that of the first and second. The publicly available YouTube numbers that anyone can check contradict your statement. You consistently sinned Coaster's videos for over a year and a half, and you didn't stop until after they were tormented to the point of being institutionalized at the age of 17. So okay, they claim they stopped sinning Coaster's videos, but eventually ended up making another one with a heavier focus on the positive aspects of his animation. I encourage all of you to watch these videos because they're all still up, we'll get to that in a second, and you can decide for yourself if Can't Be Erased, the final video sinning Coaster before they were institutionalized, had a heavier focus on the positive aspects of his animations. I personally couldn't tell a difference and think that that's bullshit. This was not a good decision, as Ethan, Eckercoaster's name is Ethan by the way, had previously asked the Animation Sins team, us, to stop making videos based on his content entirely. This, the creators of the Enchanted Mob and Zamination channels and the Animation Sins team, is so obnoxious. It's you. Yeah, you, Seth, Mike.
What's more obnoxious is the fact that you feel the need to correct yourself in the voiceover. We get it! We know who they are! You don't have to keep saying it. We get it. The Animation Sims team is them. The Enchanted Mob team is them. We understand that. We get it. So you don't need to say it every single time, Seth King. That would be like every single time I mention this about these videos, I say, this is Theft King's video. In Theft King's video, he stated, blah, 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 blah. It's useless information. It's something that we know. It's something that we get. You're only doing it to annoy people. We understand the facts. And also, it is not necessarily them, because again, this is a post on a company account. And as you yourself have mentioned, they are a company. They are a business. And like any business, they have different teams allocate different things. This team, worry about Poppy's Playtime. This team, worry about the Enchanted Mob YouTube channel. This team, worry about Animation Sins. It's different teams. The same way any other game studio has a dev team, a marketing team, etc. So yes, it is actually different people. But you can't stop getting over your own self-importance for 2 seconds to realize that.
Micah and Zach, the key people behind Poppy Playtime. Zach and Seth are brothers and make up Enchanted Mob, while Micah and Zachary are also brothers and make up Zamination. You are at the very top of the credits with star billing. You're the executive.
So then, right after saying that they are the same that all of these teams are the same person, you go on to say that 2 of the channels are different groups of people. I'm not making this up, people. You're listening to the same video I am. He literally said, it's all the same person. It's all the same. It's all you guys. And then immediately after said, no, these 2 people are on this channel. These 2 people are on this channel. They're different people, aren't they? So therefore, they're different people and different teams, aren't they? Aren't they? Oh my god. I'm done. I'm done. The rest of the video is just him going on and on about the date being wrong, and again trying to claim that they're bullying, which they're not. Even that one comment that he's saying, oh, he told him to go say mean things because he said, go send it to him. He said, feel free to. As in, he's not afraid for him to see it. It's not actually saying, go, send this to him, now. You know, it's feel free to. Go ahead, if you choose. It's just frustrating, honestly, this video. Because it's a video that he didn't need to make. And it's a video he chose to make just to flaunt off the fact that he thinks he got a response. That's all it is. And ultimately, he doesn't tread really any new ground. The only real new thing he talks about is what I already showed you, the comments on Discord, which is one person speaking in a vacuum. Well, not a vacuum, but it's one person speaking their opinion, which, again, we're all allowed to have our opinions on people, even if they're not necessarily positive. So, it just reads as, the first video may have been in good faith, but this second video, you can't look at me in the eyes, in these 2 eyes, and tell me it was in good faith. But, you know, because just the tone about it, the things he decides to say, the way he's editing it, it's all just self-inflating, is all it is. He's trying to ride off of this wave he thinks he's gotten. So I'm done dealing with it. I'm done with this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And obviously check out the merch. Bye.